This call is being recorded.
Hello?
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. I've full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert.
Well, hello, everyone. This is Joy with
Hello.
R3 Method, which stands for Reverse Retrain Rebuild Your Body and Mind and Fitness City Boot Camp. So I'm here today. I have a really good interview lined up with Virginia, who has been a boot camper of ours, in addition to just someone who is just special in her heart. She has she wrote a few articles on us before in the Naples Daily News. She's a journalist. She has her own business that she is just launching. And so she'll tell a little bit about herself. But today specifically, we're going to dive into a part of her life that is the not so good stuff. We all have different dips in our lives, different parts of our lives where we're like, man, I wish it would have gone a different way. But I am a firm believer of when you about it, when you talk about it, when you release it, when you help other people who may be going down that path, it is empowering. So you can take something that you may feel was meant to destroy you and you can use it for good. You're like, okay, if it can help one other person, then maybe it wasn't all for naught. Now, let me just start off by saying this, and that is, I believe there's not just two sides to every story, but there's also a third side, which is mainly the absolute accurate part of the story without anybody's specific perception. But when you're talking to an individual who goes through something, it is their perception. So just like in this particular case, we're talking about her marriage that went south, and her ex-husband has his own version of it as well. So, I respect his version, that's her version, but the key is her perception of what happened and how it went south and what she's doing now to overcome and heal herself. It is valid. So even if it's not exactly how it went down to a T, perception of it is just as valid. Just like when we were children, you may have one sibling who said they had a phenomenal childhood and another sibling who grew up in the exact same house who said that they were emotionally distraught or emotionally bankrupt and not feeling any love in the home. So the key is that child who had that perception of their childhood, that has to be taken care of. That situation has to be healed in their belief system, because their belief system is their life. Whatever you believe, that's your life. That's the life that you're living. So she has a belief system now as a result of this particular situation. And hopefully, as I ask her some questions and she, shares from her heart, it will help someone. Even if it helps one person in the world, to me, serves its purpose. So, again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Joy. I am a no nonsense, holistic weight loss coach, trainer, synergistic kinesiologist, which just means I help people release emotional toxins within their system that are causing sabotage in other areas of their life, particularly health and wellness. But it spills over into all parts of your life. I'm also an author of a book called R3 Diet and an international speaker. So this type of stuff is near and dear to me because I don't want to just give people a good workout and they're hurting tremendously on the inside because of different situations that's going on in their lives. And so everybody, she may be working on our give this analogy. She may be on floors in her household and someone else may be working on their windows. Somebody else may be getting a new roof put on. Somebody else may be getting new doors or new carpeting. So the key is we're all working on something. We all want optimal lives when it comes to health, wealth, love, and purpose. Those are the four main areas of life: health, wealth, love, and purpose. And when any of those areas are going south, then that means we have to address it instead of ignoring it and repressing it and pushing it down. We have to address it. We have to get out of denial. And that's what this is a big step. It's the first step for Virginia, but it's a big step. So once she does this and she knows that she's releasing something, she's acknowledging it and she's releasing something and she's telling her story. This is her story. Then it is really going to set her into the path of the right direction in her life. So without further ado, Virginia, just go ahead and take us back to the beginning because years ago, I don't know if it was 5, 6 years ago, you actually invited Sarge and I to a party at your house, a dinner or a party you had. It was all laughs, it was all smiles, it was all jokes, it was all fun. You were happily married, 2 children, and maybe a pet. So tell me what it was like in your eyes. Things were going well. Like, how did you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay. Well, I would say, and I think anyone would say, we had a good marriage. It appeared to everyone like it was a very good marriage, and we certainly had problems, but from my perspective, none of that was worthy of divorce. I mean, you know, we had some issues with his family, but they weren't that significant. It's just he, you know, I'll try to stick to the facts. I think the facts are that he revealed that he was...
Well, before you say that, how
okay.
did you meet your husband? How did you guys meet?
Oh, how did we meet? We met in college.
Ah.
So I've known him since he was 18.
Wow.
And we
and
dated our senior year. We got married when I was 29. So we dated in college, and then we broke up for a while, and then we got back together.
Okay.
And got married when I was 29.
What attracted you to him?
Boy, it's hard to say now. I think I felt like we had some similarities and that we shared the same view on things in life. You know, we were friendly. We knew each other because we lived in the same dorm, so we had a lot of easy commonalities.
Okay. So he proposed to you. You were happy because it meant your relationship, and it started off. It feel like you were really happy. You were in your bliss. You loved being married.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I am a better person when I'm in a relationship, and I think that I worked very hard to be a good mom and a good wife. And yeah, I for the most part was happy. It's just that he traveled a lot, so I would be sad when he was gone. And that was at least once a month, so it was fairly often.
Okay. But you were in love with him. You loved your marriage.
Mhm.
Because you mentioned that you do better when you're in a relationship, but you were in love with him, right?
I thought I was, yeah.
At that time, you felt like you were in love with him. You continued. You guys had 2 children together.
Yeah.
When did you know something was amiss and it was more than just the in-laws or the family issues, and you knew it was something deeper?
Well, I knew it was something deeper when he left. He just left. He just left me a note. He actually emailed
He left you a note. So he emailed you a note. So you didn't,
yeah.
there was not this progression that he was leaving. You
No.
woke up one day to an emailed note that said he was gone.
Right.
Like, did he go into detail? What did that note say?
We were actually living in Thailand at the time, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and I took the kids with me, and I went to get water because a monsoon was coming, and I got an email on my phone that said, "I've left. Don't try to find me. If you do, I'll stay away longer." I've never forgotten those words.
Wow. How long had you guys been married at this point when you got that letter?
13 years.
So 13 years, 2 children. You thought he was away on business, right?
Well, we were living in Thailand at the time, and that day he was with me. We were in Bangkok, and I just left to go get water. And while I was gone, he sent me that email so that when I came back to the apartment, he was no longer there.
Wow. What was your first reaction?
I just felt devastated. I felt like so much pain.
I mean, did you believe it? I mean, the guy you're married to for 13 years, you're in love with, you've known him since he was 18. Did you believe that was real?
No, actually, I genuinely believe that perhaps he had a mental illness that struck him, or perhaps he had a brain tumor, because I know that it can make your behavior crazy. So I literally walked the streets of Bangkok. I eventually found him. I eventually persuaded him to come back, and I took him to the emergency room, and I said, "I think something's really wrong with him." And they said that he was depressed, and they put him on antidepressants. But I think what really happened during that time that he was gone, well, what I know happened was, I think mentally he just lost sight of himself, and he got involved in a lot of stuff that he shouldn't have gotten involved in. And I came back to the United States. He eventually came back. It took a while, but when he did, that's when it became clear that he was an alcoholic and he was popping pills, and he wasn't going to work at all anymore. He was just staying at home in bed. I mean, he literally had a major depressive episode. He had a nervous breakdown.
Okay, and now you also mentioned that infidelity played a role. So how did that come about in this?
Well, twofold. What I know of is that when he was in Thailand, he had an experience with a Thai hooker, and then when he returned to the United States, he had some sort of relationship with my best friend, who's obviously no longer my best friend.
So it started off with the Thai hooker, and then when he got back, he continued to have an affair on you, and this time with your best friend.
Right.
How did you find out he was having an affair with your best friend?
Well, I didn't really believe it initially. Someone told me that they had become friends because they were, oddly enough, going to the same boot camp together. And then I got a list in the mail from his attorney of the witnesses he was going to have testify against me. And my best friend was on the list, was on his list, and I knew that there was no way he would ask her to testify unless he knew that she was going to make me look bad. So I knew that they had been talking, and then I asked a friend, I said, what is the percentage chance that the two of them have been together? And she said there's 110% chance. I didn't want to ask her a question that was hard for her to answer, so I was trying to word it in a way that would make it easy for her to tell me the truth without, I don't know.
Wow. This sounds unreal. Like, this really sounds like something out of a movie that writers,
it's
professional
unbelievable.
writers got together and wrote this, and people are eating popcorn watching it, and it's not real. It doesn't sound like something that's like, oh, okay, how's your day? Well, this is what recently just happened to me. So you've been dealing with this now for a while, because how long ago did this happen? The divorce and the note in the email, how long ago did all this happen?
It was 4 years ago. It's just that it's a long aftermath because he spent all of our money as well, including our kids' college fund. And the house went into foreclosure. He went to rehab, and when he was in rehab, that's when he just stopped paying for everything. So there's just been a lot of consequences to his recovery. It's been very difficult. Sorry, you cut out there. Can you say that again? Oh, no. Can you hear me? It's still cutting out. I just can't hear you.
Okay. Hold.
So weird. Are you there? Can you hear me? I can't hear you.